if the agency asks you to do something that is outside of the scope of your work. And that means everybody in your business should know exactly the scope of work, right? Because you never know who is going to get asked to do something. Pause and request a contract modification. Don't perform unfunded work. You just won't get paid for it, right?
Hey everybody, welcome back to SAS-GPS, and today we're going to be discussing the 5 key things you should do after winning a government contract. I'm Yoel from SAS-GPS, and I'm here with Sarah, our government contracting expert. Sarah at SAS-GPS and her team have helped clients win over $45 billion in government contracts, and they know what they're doing. Hey Sarah, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good, my friend. So let's get started. Many business owners, after winning a government contract think that, it's all great and dandy, but there's obviously things that you have to do after you win your contract, right? But what's the first thing a contractor should do immediately after they win?
Okay, so immediately after you win, the first thing that you should do is slow down. It's very exciting when you win, but take a moment and read through that entire contract front to back. Make sure that you understand every single clause, every deliverable, the performance schedule, the payment terms, your compliance requirements, right? All of it. And if something's unclear, don't sign it right away. Schedule a review meeting with your contracting officer, right? If possible, get some legal counsel. I'm always pro legal counsel, especially with big contracts. Let them catch some of the small details, or if you don't understand something, they can help you. And then lock in. So basically confirm everything that you've negotiated has made it into the final document, no surprises later. Solid sort of review there sets up the foundation for a smooth execution. Right?
Gotcha. Perfect.
It's kind of like a marriage or a divorce. You don't want any surprises later.
Absolutely. That's great advice. Yeah. So after you review the contract, right, and obviously there's a lot of administrative work to get in order, right? What kind of post-award paperwork or registration should you take care of immediately?
Okay, so once the award is official, basically you're going to make sure that you keep your SAM registration confirmed and perfectly up to date. They can't pay you if you're not registered on sam.gov and it's not current. So just keep on that. When it's going to expire, a little bit before that, maybe put it on a calendar and have that being a recurring date every year or just on a regular basis to check it. And then register, your required invoicing system, depending on who you're contracting with, PIE, the WAWF, or whatever agency-specific portal. Make sure that you're registered because you do want to get paid and invoice, And then there might be forms you might need updated W-9s, NDAs, security clearance documents, any of those kind of things. That will be contract-specific, but you should have a list. And then depending on the kind of contract you're doing, also you might have bonds, performance bonds, things like that, insurance. Performance bonds kick in right away after the award. You have very, very little time, if any time. So you need to have those done, and doing all of that sort of early and knowing that those are on your list of things to do helps you prevent any invoicing delays, keeps your project on schedule, keeps your payment to your people on schedule.
Yeah, no, 100%. That makes sense. Yeah. So let's talk about money. Government projects obviously can be large and often involve specific budgeting and cash flow challenges, right? Especially if we're talking the multiple millions of dollars or sometimes billions of dollars, right? After a win, how should a company prepare financially to execute that contract?
Okay, so hopefully you were financially capable of completing that project already, and you had some idea about what that would look like in terms of what cash flow you needed. But you should study your payment schedule. Some agencies pay fast, others use it milestones or reimbursement models to understand what model that you're on, and then plan your cash flow around that model. And probably expect delays. Plan your cash flow around maybe a 30, 60-day delay, just in case, so that you can float operations, right? Because you never know. Look at right now, government shutdown. You just never know what's going to happen and how that's going to affect things. So just give yourself a nice cushion. We always tell people, probably you want a separate bank account for this contract so you can track your expenses really clearly, right? That separate bank account keeps everything nice and clean. You can set up a line of credit specifically for this to cover your startup costs if you need to, hiring, materials, travel, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then, and this is the case with anything that you do in business at all, but government contracting as well, and maybe especially, track every single expense, right? Government contracts are tightly controlled. Oftentimes they're fixed price. So you can't just bill, that ended up costing us this, and then you hit your max, and then suddenly what are you doing, right? You're not going to get that money back. So just very, very, very tightly track and have discipline with your budget and your cash flow awareness to keep you profitable throughout the delivery of your contract.
All right, excellent. That's good advice, Sarah. Now moving on to like the people side, right? Obviously executing a contract isn't just like a one-person show. What should the winner do in terms of organizing their team or subcontractors once the contract is awarded?
Yeah, rally your team immediately. Like your team should be ready to rally because you should have known you were bidding and like kind of when that award's coming out. And if you win it, like you should be ready to rock and roll. Rally your team. You should already probably have appointed a project manager. A lot of the contracts will make you have a project manager appointed in that request for proposal, but ping that person. Say, guess what? Today is the day you start being accountable for your daily oversight and deadlines, and have that person start doing that job. And make sure that the roles that you assign to everybody are clear. What is compliance? Who is doing reporting, invoicing, communications, right? Like make sure your point of contacts, everybody knows what their job is and the expectations of that job, right? I really cannot stress how much not having chaos at that level will help. If you have subcontractors, notify them immediately. Make sure that they've got the scope, the details, the finalized contracting agreements would be good. Make sure that they're ready to go. Make sure that they understand your flow down requirements, right? Federal standards apply to your subcontractors. Best to double check that they are aware of those. And then you should be scheduling a kickoff meeting with your client, introduce your key team, your subs, interact with your client, see what they're looking for, and set that good first impression because that's going to build trust and tone for your collaboration. And they're going to be, reviewing you and scoring you. So start off strong.
All right, Sarah. So on the fifth point on our list, and obviously that was great advice, is communication and compliance, right? So what should contractors do to manage the relationship with the agency and stay compliant, like through the project, right? We obviously know that's huge because, like as you've said in other videos, if you fail the government once, you probably won't get that chance again.
Yeah, you're going to have to get creative.
Yep.
Stay aligned, stay out of trouble. Start with that kickoff call, meet with your contracting officer, find out what their expectations are, agree on that communication rhythm, that regular cadence of meetings. Is it monthly? Is it weekly? What's that scope? What's your sort of reporting cadence as well? If you have any changes or anything that happens, keep that agency updated on the progress or any potential issues before they escalate, right? Like anything that you think potentially might hold them up, just better to like communicate that instead of saying like, oh, now we have an emergency. By the way, I didn't tell you this was coming, right? Obviously, don't make yourself look bad in that, but like make yourself look like you're normal. I mean, things happen, right? And you're just keeping them updated. And then document everything. Document. From an HR perspective, everything should be documented. Every report, every deliverable, every expense record, right? Stay on top of all your deadlines, especially reporting, but if it's performance reporting, financial reporting, security, cybersecurity, right? Make sure all of that you're staying on top of. And if the agency asks you to do something that is outside of the scope of your work, and that means everybody in your business should know exactly the scope of work, right? Because you never know who is going to get asked to do something. Pause and request a contract modification. Don't perform unfunded work. You just won't get paid for it, right? And it's okay if they need something, but you got to do a contract mod. So basically, long story short, strong communication, really good compliance is going to equal trust and repeat business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those are fantastic tips. All right, so we've covered the big 5 to-dos, right? Reviewing the contract, handling admin tasks, planning finances, communicating effectively. Right? Now, some businesses might feel that this is a lot and they might feel a little bit overwhelmed, right, by all these responsibilities, especially if they're new to like the larger contracts that companies win. What do you suggest companies do to ensure that ensure their success and win even more contracts in the future?
So yeah, you don't have to go it alone. I think that's the first thing. SAS-GPS exists exactly to help with these things when you win your first award and you've gotten that sort of thing rolling. We can come in and help you build a pipeline, prep for your next bid, strengthen your internal systems while you continue to execute the contract that you just won. And when working with us, we help sort of you understand as we're bidding on it, what are those post-award requirements and compliance and things like that, because we build them into our proposals and our strategic conversations with our clients. So kind of helping you stay compliant and being aware of what you're going to have to do to stay compliant and also positioning you for your next win.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so even after a big win, it pays to keep improving and possibly getting help from experts like us to reach that next level, right? Thank you, Sarah, again, just for sharing these insights. It's super valuable. So just to recap for everybody watching, number 1, review the contract thoroughly. Number 2, complete all your post-award admin and paperwork. Number 3, get your finances and budget in order. Number 4, organize your team and any subcontractors. And number 5, maintain communication and compliance throughout the project, right? We hope these tips have been super helpful. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so below. We would love your feedback and comments. Sarah, anything else you want to add on?
No, we're good. Thank you, Yoel, and thanks to everyone for tuning in, and good luck with those contracts.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk to you guys soon.